Well, I don't know if any of you found that last review particularly interesting, but I hope someone did because I've got more of the same series, and I'm going to be talking about these for the next couple vids. Okay, second one in the series, again on Shudder. Now, these weren't in order on Shudder, so despite me normally trying to go chronologically, these I believe were all edited as one dump, but they weren't placed in chronological order, so it took me a while to sort them out because none of them have like a number in the title. They all just have like a subtitle, so it took me a little bit to sort it all out. Especially since some were saying it's the first, some were saying it's the last, but finally got it sorted. Number two, female prisoner scorpion, Jailhouse 41. Okay, I didn't care for the first one. I cared less for this one. Now, there are things I did like about it. I did like the over the top nature of it. But again, there's some unanswered problems. And also how they treat Sasori in this movie. I mean, weird thing to comment about in an exploitation movie where people are obviously going to get abused, but not quite what I mean in this case. Now, so this one picks up after essentially she was arrested after succeeding her killing spree at the end of the last one, and now has spent a year in solitary confinement. So she's granted a 1 day reprieve because of a visiting dignitary, and she tries to kill the warden during this point, so or make a big escape. Can't remember what it's. I think it was an escape attempt. Can't remember exactly. Anyway, she gets obviously going to be punished for this. Now, this first part is the one that I'm a little confused on. Now, first, everyone's reveres Sasori. Like, they treat her like some sort of urban legend in the prison. I don't know why they call her the Scorpion. They never really explain that. But everyone calls her the Scorpion. And the fact that she did this is really impressive to everyone. What's not so impressive is the fact that she gets raped afterwards. Despite that, for some reason, everyone acts like because of that she's now depowered, weaker. They're more embarrassed. They don't want to be associated with it. I don't know. They seem to lose like all respect for her because of that. Because that was her punishment, was have the guards assault her. I don't know. So I don't get why they revere her completely. I mean, the murder spree was cool before, but again, everyone acts like she's this top thing. Don't know where that came from, but apparently she is. And then this. So her and 6 other inmates break out and are on the run, and that's pretty much how this movie goes. It's sort of a chase from there, as well as the how things escalate once they are in fact back in prison. Now, one of the main things I don't care for this one was how much of a minor character Sasori felt in her own movie. Like, it seems to focus around with all the other inmates who got out, most of which are not likable, except for one, and she's killed off very earlier. So, none of these characters are particularly nice to Sasori. In fact, they all seem to be ridiculing her and trying to, and usually putting her in more dangerous situations. Yet the story seems to focus on them, with her just being silent in the background for most of it. So, despite her being our title lead, she doesn't do much in this movie, which means it was, to me, even more dull. Now, I watched these a couple weeks ago, and a lot of them have blurred together in my head. So, I can't always tell which was the first one versus which was this one, but I believe this one had an interesting kind of and more of a less shootout sequence, but for the most part, this one is a two MacGuffins. 1972, Japan, again, more of the same, but lesser. So I didn't view this one as. The effects were a little bit better, I will say, but not enough to save the confusing directorial choices. The best I can do on this one's a two MacGuffin, really. Yeah, pretty much all I got on this. It's not going to be very long for my Sasori reviews because there's just not much to talk about. I will say this one was a lot less exploitive than the first one. The first one had the most. After that, it's really, after the beginning scene, not. If you're watching it for an exploitation film, it's not as even that much. So, all right, that's 2 out of 4. See you in a minute.